get into the game.
Daybreak, a map for ZvZ where it's historically pretty safe to go for hatchery first. John, I was talking about with you over the break how it's a little bit difficult to kind of judge sometimes who's firmly ahead in ZvZ, and it's really tough for both players who are in that position, because sometimes you feel like you can judge an army's strength just based off your overseer and overlord positioning, but then you have to keep track of where their infestors are, and if there's anything that we've seen from Sleep and from Bboong is that they're very crafty with their infestor movement, keeping them alive throughout the majority of the game.
You're completely right. I mean, it's very easy to look at an army and go, oh, this guy's army is bigger than this guy's army, therefore he should be ahead and he should be able to take that map control. But like we saw when we're moving up into the natural expansion, when the Roachborn was sniped off, just the addition of a couple of infestors at the right time, in the right place, just completely changes not only the tide of battle, but the dynamic of the game once the tech got sniped off. So you have to be really on the ball watching where those infestors are, irrespective of any debate that's going on about the infestor at the moment. It's actually like the most dynamic part. And in a mirror matchup as well, it makes the difference more often. It can turn a losing position into a winning one so quickly. But guys, we have a game to cast here. It is on Daybreak and spawning in the top right-hand corner. Currently teamless, looking for a fantastic showing, hoping to get picked up, doing very well so far, already in the top 12. We have the green Zerg player, it is Sleep, who is going to be playing against the blue Zerg player in the bottom left-hand corner, going for his pool first as opposed to hatchery first. He is representing Team MJ here at IPL 5. It is Bboong.
You're so British, Jurasar.
Why me so British?
It's so fun to listen to you talk, man.
Oh, good golly gosh. Banelings everywhere.
You're so proper with like everything, man. It's just I feel like my new English compared to your old English. And I say old with an E at the end of old.
Ye olde English.
Ye old English. I feel so unsophisticated compared to you.
We were talking about some old English phrases, but what was it that someone mentioned in chat yesterday?
Dost thou even hoist?
Yeah, dost thou even hoist instead of do you even lift? Cracked up for a good 5 minutes straight.
Thou even hoist,
one of the guys you
brethren.
mentioned, that someone in chat mentioned that. Oh, that is absolutely... I need to find some more old English sayings to just shove into cast, because that's brilliant stuff.
I think next time you cast with Caleres, you should just both do old English the entire time.
That would be brilliant. I would love to do that. So for now, guys...
No one will understand what you're saying, but...
But it doesn't matter.
It'll be fun.
It would. And that's what we're here to do, man. We're here to have fun. So we have both players at the moment, guys. We have our hatches down. We have our pools down. We did have a hatch first versus a pool first, but they're basically two routes to more or less the same thing here. We haven't seen any indication of super crazy aggression right now. Both sides going for their Zerg League speed at roughly the same time here. So we'll wait and see what their tech choices are a little bit later on in the game. Could we maybe be seeing Mutalisks on Daybreak? Because Mutas are becoming a little bit more prevalent in ZvZ now. And with the chasms here sort of around the sides of the base and stuff, maybe we'd see a little bit more Spire usage. It's not necessary, but it could happen.
The 8 muta, the 6 to 8 muta build where you go into, you switch into roaches really quickly, and you're behind upgrades, but you'll be able to control the map and deny thirds. It's a really popular build in ZvZ nowadays, especially with players like Violet and Sen. Sen loves doing that build a lot. It's pretty strong, I think. I tried doing it, and I'm really bad at it. So I always stick to a roach-based play, because roach is just more consistent. You can kind of always be able to defend and handle a lot of mid-game aggression that way. And even if you do go for mutas, if your opponent has a lot of roaches, sometimes they just bust through and just attack your third anyways. And you have this weird situation where you're going mutas to deny the third, but then you also lose your third because you don't have your roaches out in time. It's a very thin window and very razor edge, but I like that kind of style play usually when I see it.
Well, for those of you that were watching Stream 3 yesterday, we actually saw Bboong play against Shigua when the incredible lag spike occurred, or when the lag rog landed on the building of the top of the Cosmopolitan. We sent Kevin Nocky up to fight it. He was able to defeat it, and we got the games back. That game was paused for about 10 minutes. But in that particular game, we saw Bboong go for a very quick layer and a very quick spire, and then control the map with mutas, just constantly denying Shigua's third. And by the end of it, they were basically quite even for a long time. Shiguan maybe was ahead on upgrades, I'm not 100% sure, but because that third was denied for so long, Bboong was able to come off with game 2 and get a 2-0 victory, and that's part of what brought him here now. So I wonder if he's going to do something similar.
Well, I think so, because he has no tech structures. His layer's finished, and he has 4 gases. It's all lining up towards, and 3 spine crawls. I really think he's going to go for mutas now. Or at the very least, Ling and Fester, but usually you go double Evo with that. So all indications should show Sleep that his opponent is doing something a little bit suspicious, especially since he's going so defensive. Oh, Sleep's going to go for a fast third hatchery instead.
And that's a lot of Lings accompanied with a couple of Roaches here. We do now have the Spire coming down for Bboong here. Sleep has a lot of units and a good choice to get these spine crawlers up at the front. Of course, he needs to make sure his static defense can hold strong while we get up to those Mutalisks, and so we can attempt to deny the third. I think Bboong needs to scout and see if Sleep is actually taking his third, and that's exactly, hopefully, what he's going to do with these Lings out in the middle of the map, so he knows where to go with those Mutalisks when they pop.
No, I think Sleep, yes. I think Sleep knows exactly. So I have this weird habit where I always say like, no, yeah, or something like that. You gotta be more positive, Frodan. No, I always say yes. I always say them concurrently.
Hang on, the Queen is looking in mortal danger here. A lot of Lings managing to sneak into. Oh my God, they are. If they get this Spire killed off, Frodan, I think that's going to be huge. But it's so unbelievably
I don't know.
close.
I don't think they're going to get it. They're just going to be at the pressure. But I mean, Sleep already suspected something anyways, because it was around 7-8 minutes. No Roaches, no fast third base, no double Evo chamber, only a couple Banelings. What are you saving your gas for? It has to be something crazy like mutas. So in that regard, Sleep kind of already knew it. It's just that his layer is so delayed. Wow, it's already 9:30.
Yeah, he had a lot of units out with those Roaches earlier on to try and stop Bboong from going for this kind of play early, but unable to do so right now. And now the ball is firmly in Boong's court. He's going to make these Mutalisks, and he has to try and say, look, now that the mutas are on the field, I need to try and snipe off your third. This is a massive gas investment right now. I need to get some damage done. Tries to sneak some Lings into the main base, unable to do so. I want to see the Lings go with the mutas together to attempt to hit the third base. Alternatively, he could send the mutas straight into the main and the Lings to the third, but either way, he needs to get some damage done with these.
Well, Bboong still doing a good job harassing here and there with his Speedlings. He sees that they're opening, and that's going to be very nice to pick off some drones, maybe even the Queen. Oh, he's actually targeting the Spore Crawler. That's very nice to make sure the mutas are empowered to be able to harass.
And the mutas going straight towards the main base, actually. Oh, the Queen getting taken out as well. And the total amount of anti-air in the main base of Sleep, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly zilch. Nada. Absolutely nothing. And these mutas are going to have an field day picking apart these drones. A second Queen being sent from the natural expansion, but Bboong continuing just to harass as much as he possibly can. Number of workers killed as it currently stands, 7 versus 6, so he's equalized the damage done from Sleep earlier from that run by into the main, and these mutas are going to give him a great amount of map control. One thing I do like, though, is that Sleep's actually retreated all of his Overlords already, so these mutas aren't going to kill too much. It's out on the map, I think.
Well,
Roaches,
one thing I do want to say is that Bboong's Roach Warden is a little bit late because, normally when you have the third setup, you want to have some Roaches in case they counterattack. But one thing that has worked in his favor is that Sleep didn't send all his Roaches. He kept some, kept a lot actually back at home, even though he has Hydras. So that's going to work out in his favor. So the little risk that Bboong took paid off for him, and he's sitting in a really nice spot. Now we do see that Sleep has stabilized. When is he going to get his Infestor tech out, though? Because that's like the primary way you combat Zerg.
Bboong's feeling a little bit of aggression here, moving some Lings into the third base, but he just made 18 Roaches behind it as well, so no additional round of drones or anything like that. He has stopped on 56 at the moment, and he's got 14 more Roaches in production, so he is looking to make a pretty big push here, unless he's suspecting a big attack from Sleep, but I don't think he's had any indication to suggest that's the case. Muta's coming back into the main base. There are Spore Crawlers and a Queen there, though. Going to be a little bit difficult. He'll try and pick apart that Gas Geyser, which is nice, because going into late game ZvZ, that gas count is going to be pretty crucial, so just delaying that a little bit would be really useful for him, but no major damage done at this time.
No, in matchups like ZvZ and PvP, gas is like it's just so important, especially in mirrors, because that's what your limitation is in terms of tech. Being able to snipe that is so crucial. Sleep doesn't even have Infestors out yet. Still sticking on Roach Hydra, and again, Infestors is so invaluable to this against this composition. from Bboong. Now he is setting up like he wants to harass his third. Sleep hasn't been able to harvest from a lot of his gases. His main has been pretty much shut down. His third is not really doing much either. Sleep is losing control of this game slowly.
Oh, he needs to be careful though. Okay, Bboong managing to get away. And one thing I actually wanted to point out there is that Bboong did a great job when he was retreating his Mutalisk. He picked off just an Overlord or two and actually supply clapped Sleep for a little while as well. And that extra time meant that Bboong was able to get a little bit ahead in supply just because of his production. He's up to 170 versus about 150 at the moment, still with map control thanks to those Mutalisks, and he's going for another push at the third base with some Roaches. The Mutas are at the natural expansion, pulling the army out of position, and the Roaches are going in simultaneously to the third. This is a great bait and switch. He's going into the natural as well. The army is coming out to defend the third, but into the natural, into the main go the Roaches, into the main go the Mutalisks, and this could cause a lot of damage to Sleep. He is being pulled in so many directions right now, Frodan.
Yeah, that's right. You know, he's being able to isolate the workers in the main. The Queen is not really able to do much. There's only a couple Hydras for anti-air. Bboong is showing great restraints on both fronts, making sure to draw most of the army to the third base, and then falling back. Just simple tactical positioning.
And the army's still in the main. There's actually a small army still in the main for Sleep now, just in case Bboong has any additional damage done. And it looks like, wow, once again, a third being harassed. The Mute is still at the back of the natural expansion, and there are a couple of blue dots still left in at the main base there. Some burrowed Roaches that are going to be heading straight back into the... But actually, Sleep's doing a great job with his multitasking here, because he's tried his best, and he's actually doing a decent job at keeping on top of all of it at once.
Yeah, it's just that Sleep, you know, it's so easy to crack under this pressure. The fact that he hasn't really lost anything too significant. Like, he could have lost tech structure, could have lost, you know, a lot more drones than his Queens. But he's been holding it really nice. Now, he does have that +2 upgrade advantage over his opponent who just has +1. And with Hydras out into the field, that's such a significant amount of DPS. And the fact that Bboong is in the middle of transitioning to Infestors, he doesn't really want to engage for a while until he can get out these map controllers. But Sleep, he's not even getting Infestors. He's just counter pushing while maxed on Roach Hydra, and that might be a great window of opportunity if Bboong can't get out these Infestors in time.
Yeah, Bboong needs to stall. 7 Infestors are about to pop for him, and of course, with those Hydras out, yes, they do a lot more DPS, but +2 in the 7 Infestors are about to come out for Bboong, so a couple of really, really well-placed Funkles could be useful here. Bboong actually counterattacking into the third base of Sleep right now. Both sides hitting each other's third. Good initial Fungal from Bboong defending here. Is the third hatchery of Sleep going to go down as well? I think, yes, that's definitely going to go down. He can't get enough units in there, but the main battle looks like it's going to be at Bboong's third. A great concave for Sleep here, and has Bboong overextended? Has he gone into Infestors a bit too late? We need some excellent Fungals to get rid of this army, Frodan.
Well, he has about 2 left, the 3 left. He can control the ramp really nicely. Sleep did lose his third. He's in danger of losing his natural. Sleep, he's losing way too much. He's on the clock. That might force him to go up the ramp, but he can't. He can get caught by Fungals and easily dismantled by this army.
This could be a great position for Bboong here, and Sleep is not attempting to go up the ramp at this time. The problem with that is, though, these Roaches in the natural are doing so much damage. Sleep rallying some Roaches out to stall for time, and he actually, oh, very nice Fungal, getting so many of the Hydralisks there. He needs one more on the Hydras, and a lot of them would just disappear into thin air. Sleep desperately trying to get up the ramp, but the positioning for Bboong is so unbelievably good with those Infestors. Sleep gets no purchase there.
No, I think Bboong has set up a perfect trap for Sleep. You know, he's able to kill off a significant amount of his economy. He is sitting very nicely, 43 drones to just 23, and that's just going to be really powerful once he grabs another expansion. Sleep really doesn't have any more larvae even to, you know, put back into circulation for army and drones. He has to split them up, and that third resource in this matchup is too I guess it's too much to ignore at this point.
No, I completely agree with you, Frodan. Bboong just, he's in such a good position right now. He's getting his own Hydralisk den as well. Those Fungals at the ramp were just so pivotal at keeping Sleep out, and that counterattack towards a third base that got into the natural was just so unbelievably good coming out from Bboong. A Contaminate on a building hatchery there. Not sure that does too much.
That doesn't do anything at all. Well, today I learned.
Yeah.
This structure is unable to train new units or research upgrades.
So while that hatchery is building, neither of those things can be done. Sad times indeed, but Contaminate, I'd like to see that used a little bit more, actually. Maybe not when the hatcheries are building, of course, but always a great way to limit your opponent's larva count.
Well, we do see that Sleep is still have a pretty strong standing army. If you look at the army supplies, it's still pretty comparable. It's just that the quality of supply for Bboong is really nice. 55 Roaches and 8 Infestors, and he's starting to incorporate Hydras into the mix. There's almost nothing that Sleep has an advantage of across the board. His economy, his production, his upgrades, his composition, all those things are equalized or better by Bboong. The third does get forced as a cancel.
The sacrificial Hydralisk getting put down there, hopefully. Maybe sacrificing it to Sleep so that he doesn't come up the ramp, I don't know, but it looks like a massive engagement is about to happen here. Let's see if Bboong chooses to move down the ramp or if Sleep is going to be moving up. A very, very tense position here right now.
See, it goes both ways, too, because Bboong isn't sure about the Infestor count of Sleep if he has any, but, I mean, he's been able to see so much of his main base that he should kind of guess that Sleep doesn't really have Infestors out. So it's a little bit tricky because he doesn't want to get caught in the same situation, so he's, like, moving up, he's moving down, he's like, does he have Infestors, does he not?
He has 0 Infestors.
He has absolutely none.
Yeah, so let's see if Bboong recognizes this and moves down there. He's still continuing to poke in and out, trying to maybe bait a fungal to see if actually anything is popping down. But in reality here, Bboong can just move down the ramp, I suspect. And it looks like he's going to be poking out at the natural, seeing if Sleep will take the opportunity to move up at the third. He's not, though. Sleep is not taking the bait. And, okay, now he's finally going to be moving down. There are no Infestors here for Sleep. That's going to be a pleasant surprise for Bboong here. He's going to be able to do so much damage. Look at the Hydras melting away in the background. They're disintegrating into thin air right now. And Sleep trying to come through the back with a couple units as well. But these Fungals are doing so much damage. I mean, the Infestor count for Sleep, 0, obviously insufficient. But Bboong just completely destroying it. GG.
Well played by Bboong. Overall getting a really nice advantage with the mutas.